All right, so today one of the things I want to show is a little helper function that can help you when you start composing stuff together, because sometimes your arguments are not quite in the right order for what you want. So I had some data here, and the data was static. I had an express router here, so it's posting some stuff, and basically at this point, like, I'm trying to see whether or not the username that comes in exists in this data, right? Trivial example, but in this case, yeah, I'm trying to see whether the username is in the keys of this data. And if so, then we're going to return a 403. Okay, so what ends up happening, though, is so r_contains is a function that, given an A and a list of A's, will return a Boolean. And that works really, really well when your A that you're searching for is the first thing that you know about. So if that's static, then that's really good. In this case, though, what I have is that that A is a variable, whereas the list, in this case my object keys, is static. So one of the things that we can do is we can use this handy little function called flip. And this is using Ramda's flip because I'm in JavaScript, but you can do this in a lot of different languages. And so what flip basically does, if we look here, this takes an A and a list of A's and gives you a Boolean. Flip just reverses the first two, so it takes an array of A's and an A and gives you a Boolean. So it seems pretty trivial, but what ends up being really neat is that now I can just write this composed function, user exists, I flip the contains, so switches the orders, and then I pass my array, because now my array comes first. So the way this works is that flip is on contains, which then returns a new function that takes a list and then an actual item. So I preload my list here with my object keys data, and then my code that actually calls it can simply just pass the username. So kind of a little trivial example, but you see the cool part is that flip kind of switches those things. It seems trivial, but as you start composing a bunch of functions together, sometimes they're not in the order that you want, and flip can actually help you there. So we went from having basically a function created each time to now we have this reusable function that can use the fact that the list, in our case, is static. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks.